In the second
Today
exercise,
we're going to take a look
I want
at
to
the
evaluate
active and
if
passive
you can tell
voice.
when a sentence is active or
When we
passive.
use the term voice,
So
it
take a look
simply
at number
refers
1.
to how a
Agnes
verb
earned a
speaks within
reward
the
for her
sentence.
grades. Agnes
Meaning
is
it can
our
either
subject
speak
actively,
or
earned
it
is our
can
predicate
speak passively.
Reward is the
It
complement
speaks
because
actively
it
when the
answers
subject of the sentence is performing an act.
So in this case, the sentence is active.
So in the
Since
first
it's
example,
active,
we
you
have
need to make
Paul,
it passive,
which is our subject.
Remember, to make
Wrote
it passive
is our predicate.
you're going to move the complement
On the
to the subject
blackboard
position,
answers
which is
where.
reward. So you would say a
Because it
reward
answers
earned.
where, we know this verb
Another
is
example.
intransitive.
We played baseball last summer.
In the other example, we have
We use the subject
is our subject,
played is the predicate,
scored
baseball
is the predicate,
complement,
and
because
touchdown
it answers what?
is our complement. We know it's a complement because it answers the
Since
question.
the subject is doing something,
What?
we know that this particular sentence is active.
In both of these sentences, the subject is
So
performing
we want to make it
an
passive.
action.
To make it
When
passive,
a verb
you're going to
performed
move the
when the
complement
subject
to the subject
performs
position.
an action, it is said to
The answer is
speak
baseball was
actively.
played.
A third example,
The intransitive
Ruth
verb
will
is
clean the kitchen
always
tomorrow
active because the
Ruth is
subject
the
is
subject.
the doer.
will clean
However,
is the predicate.
with a transitive verb,
Kitchen is the complement.
it can be
It
either
answers
active
what?
or it can be passive. We know
And
that
it
Ruth is
depends
performing an act
upon a couple
She's
of things.
cleaning. Since
First
she's
of all, it
cleaning,
speaks actively when the
this
subject
is, active.
is the
So
doer,
we need to make
such
this
as
passive.
these here. Paul
To
was
make it
doing
passive,
something,
you take the
Bob was doing
complement and
something.
put it in the subject position. Kitchen will be cleaned.
So
In
take
this
a look
case,
at this
kitchen is
example.
the
Here,
subject.
Margaret. And the kitchen is
Margaret
receiving
is
an action,
the
subject,
action which it will receive,
and she is doing
is
something.
cleaning.
She is tearing, or the past
Then the
tense,
last
she
portion
tore.
of your exercise is to merely
her
determine
sweater.
if the subject is doing an action or performing
Tore is the
an
predicate.
action.
Sweater
In this case, he
is the
is the
complement
subject.
because it answers what.
Sent is the predicate.
When we
Order is the complement.
we can take the complement, put it in the
He
subject
is doing
position.
something. He's sending something. So all
When
you
the
have to
complement
do
is in the subject position,
type
it
the
is
letter
said that
D.
it's speaking
In
passively.
this example, money is the
We have
subject.
the sweater was sent
Which is
as our
the predicate.
subject, was
By
torn
Express.
is the predicate by Margaret. Because money
In this example,
isn't
the
doing
sweater is
anything,
not performing
money is
an act.
receiving an
It can't
action,
do
it is being
anything.
sent. Then it's
So,
R for
when the
receiver.
subject isn't performing an action,
The
but
old
something
books
is
from the
being done
library
to
were
the
sold.
subject, in this case the sweater, then it's said to be
Books
passive.
is the subject. So take a look at John.
And what was
John
done
is
to
our
them
subject,
is they were
ate
sold.
is the predicate, and lunch
So
is our
books are
complement
receiving an
because it
action.
answers the question.
Also, you can ask
What?
yourself, what can books do?
Now
Books
we can
can't
take
run away.
lunch, move it
Books
up into
can't
the
hide.
subject position.
Books can't
and
perform
say
any kind
lunch
of
is
an
our
action.
subject. Was
So
eaten is the
generally
predicate.
speaking, when you
And
see
then by
books,
John.
it's going to be receiving some type of an action.
In this
Like
example,
the
the
book was
lunch
open.
isn't doing any kind of
What
an
was done-
action.
the book
It is
received
receiving
an action. It was
the action
opened.
is receiving is that it was eaten. So when the receiver is the subject of a sentence, the verb is always in the passive voice. So here are a few examples. We have Ted, which is our subject, sent is the predicate, and then message is our complement. Since Ted is performing an action, it is said that it is active. But we can take the complement, move it up into the subject position, and take Ted and move Ted back to the end of the sentence. So it would look like this. A message was sent by Ted. For your homework, you don't need the by Ted part. You can just say a message was sent. And so we see that message is the subject and was sent is the predicate. Something is being done to the message. The message is receiving an action. The next one, mother is the subject, washed is the predicate, and windows is the complement. It answers what? So we're going to take windows and move it to the front of the sentence, or the subject position, so that it says the windows were washed by my mother. Again, we can do without by my mother for your homework. You would simply say windows were washed, because windows is the subject, were washed is the predicate, And again, the windows are not performing an action. The windows are receiving a particular action. In the second exercise, I want to evaluate if you can tell when a sentence is active or passive. So take a look at number 1. Agnes earned a reward for her grades. Agnes is our subject. Earned is our predicate. Reward is the complement because it answers what. So in this case, the sentence is active. Since it's active, you need to make it passive. Remember, to make it passive, you're going to move the complement to the subject position, which is reward. So you would say a reward was earned. Another example. We played baseball last summer. We is the subject, played is the predicate, baseball is the complement because it answers what. Since the subject is doing something, we know that this particular sentence is active. And so we want to make it passive. To make it passive, you're going to move the complement to the subject position. So the answer is baseball was played. A third example, Ruth will clean the kitchen tomorrow. Ruth is the subject, will clean is the predicate, kitchen is the complement. It answers what? We know that Ruth is performing an act. She's cleaning. Since she's cleaning, this is active. So we need to make this passive. To make it passive, you take the complement and put it in the subject position. Kitchen will be cleaned. In this case, kitchen is the subject, and the kitchen is receiving an action. The action which it will receive is cleaning. Then the last portion of your exercise is to merely determine if the subject is doing an action or performing an action. In this case, he is the subject, sent is the predicate, order is the complement. He is doing something, he's sending something, so all you have to do is type the letter D. In this example, money is the subject, was sent is the predicate, by express. Because money isn't doing anything, money is receiving an action, it is being sent, then it's R for receiver. The old books from the library were sold. Books is the subject, and what was done to them is they were sold. So books are receiving an action. Also, you can ask yourself, what can books do? Books can't run away. Books can't hide. Books can't perform any kind of an action. So generally speaking, when you see books, it's going to be receiving some type of an action, like the book was opened. What was done? The book received an action. It was opened.